Hello everyone, and a warm welcome to you from St. John in New Brunswick, Canada. St. John is the largest city on the southern coast of New Brunswick and known as Canada's original and oldest city, incorporated since 1785. We're here for the Ford World Women's Curling Championship 2014, live right here at Harbour Station. And it's the opening series of round-robin games. Real anticipation for this one. In session one, it's Russia against Canada. A real air of anticipation ahead of this first session of games. And here are the lineups in our feature game for Russia. The lead, Ekaterina Galkina. At second, Alexandra Saitova. The third for the Russian team, Margarita Fomina. And the youngest skip in the competition from Russia, Anna Sidorova. Thomas Leaps, the coach. For Canada, their lead, Lisa Weigel. At second, Alison Kreviazuk. Playing third, Emma Miskew. And the skip, Rachel Homan. Earl Morris, the coach. These are the teams competing in these 2014 World Championships. The notable powerhouses of curling, Canada, Scotland, Sweden, Korea and Latvia also making their mark, and the Czech Republic. And the other games going on, it's the reigning world champions, Scotland. You heard the national anthem there. Scotland against Latvia. Sheet B, Korea, Denmark. Sheet C, our featured game. And on Sheet D, the Czech Republic against Sweden. So our featured game is Russia against Canada. There they are shaking hands. I'm joined by Luke Coley. We'll be providing live commentary on this whole game. And I'm quite excited about this one, Luke, as the opening game.
It's time to get things going and see what's going to happen between these two. You have Canada, a silver medal at last year's World Championship, and Russia coming off a disappointing Olympic Winter Game performance. So both have something to prove. Canada wants the gold, which they missed out on in last year, and a couple of times at the juniors. Now they have a chance to win the gold here in their home country.
And that's got to be a huge advantage. Here's Anna Sidorova. No, sorry, Ekaterina Galkina, the lead for the Russian team.
Well, it is in their home country, but they did have some troubles traveling here already. As snowstorm hit a couple days ago, they actually got in a van and drove themselves because one of their connecting flights got canceled. So, like they did last year going to Latvia, got a little delayed.
Yep, not the best of preparation.
A team from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, the capital city of their country. I'll take on this Russian team. Very young. Obviously this year the lineup changes as well, with a lot of hype on them going into the Olympics in Sochi and all that comes along with it. Now they're here at the World Championship. They're one of 3 teams that played at the Olympics, now at the World Championship.
Here's the stone colours. Russia will have the reds and Canada the yellows.
Well, Russia gets the hammer. They put the draw to the button right on the button. So that means Lisa Weigel starts us off.
There she is. She's 28. Started curling when she was 7 years old. So she's been absorbed in the game for a large part of her life. And will there be a few nerves in there, Luke, do you think?
There always will be. A first game, they're not sure what to expect. They played at a World Championship last year, but wasn't in Canada. They played the Canadian Championship in Montreal this year, and not far from their home. A lot of fans, probably a lot of fans here cheering them on every shot. And no surprise seeing this call from the Russian side. Let's play the hit. Let's just get a few stones into this one, maybe go through a blank end and get ready and get into a little bit more aggressive play in the next few ends.
Yep, that was Katerina Galkina, 25-year-old from Moscow. We're very, very proud to be representing their country in Sochi last month.
It can't be an easy thing, though, to rebound after the hype. Playing at the Olympic Games, so much attention drawn to them and their country for that. And now here at the World Championship, different pressures, probably.
There's a rules of play for you. They play 6 ends, a minimum of 6 ends, 73 minutes for each team, and 1 coach interaction. Clock continues. And I know the Russians in particular felt it very strongly that they didn't do a little bit better in the Olympic Games, so they want to show that they are a team that can get the results, get the wins. So I think perhaps they were affected by the pressure there.
Well, and as you said, Alison, she is the youngest skip here in the field. She was young at the Olympics too. Couldn't have been easy stepping into that spotlight.
Here's Alison Kreviazuk for Team Canada, 25-year-old. And Alex Saitova, the second for the Russian team, also from Moscow.
Just 21. You're the youngest member of this team. She's
11 years curling, so she's been around the game for a long time too.
This Canadian team went through the Canadian Championship, the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, and one of the most impressive performances I've seen from a team. They didn't throw. Rachel Homan did not have to throw her last rock once in any game to win a national title.
Well, that's impressive stuff. But is that the best kind of practice for something like this?
It puts you in a spot where you have to throw that rock and see what happened. Obviously, last year, winning the championship, had to throw a couple of last stones, proved that she could do it. But her team in front of her put her in a real good position numerous times in that event.
And that's the reason this Canadian team are here, having won that Canadian National Championship. It's not Jennifer Jones, the Olympic gold medalist.
Well, and with Canada-Russia playing right now, it was the Paralympic Winter Games that wheelchair curling wrapped up today. Was Canada-Russia as well in the gold medal game, with Canada beating Russia for the gold medal there 8-3. So that was 3 straight gold medals for Canada at the Paralympic Games.
Yep, clean sweep for Canada.
So the 2 young skips, they've met before in international play. They played last year at the World Championship, and it was a 5-4 Canadian win.
This is Margarita Femina. And I bet they were watching what was going on in Sochi, this Canadian team, and thinking, we want to be there.
Yeah, they were one of the Canadian teams that were obviously winning the Canadian title heading into the trials to earn a spot to go to the Olympics. Jennifer Jones and Rachel Homan were the 2 teams talked about out of Canada that were going to be there. Whereas this Russian team, you knew they were going to be there throughout, well, heading into it. And it was Jennifer Jones coming out of the trials and getting a chance to go represent her country at the Olympics.
And maybe that was better for Canada because it maybe just challenged. There's a challenge to the top position, whereas this Russian team have been the dominant force in Russian curling for some years.
Well, trying to use that one as a little bit of a guard, try and tuck maybe a corner, make the hit a little more tricky for the Canadian side, but it's fully exposed, and that stone should be easily removed by the Canadian skip. Allison, you talked about how young Anna Sidorova is, but lots of international experience. 2 Olympic Games. This is her 5th World Curling Championship, 4 World Juniors. There's no lack of it there.
Yeah, and Rachel on the international arena really emerged for the rest of the world last year in Latvia. Made us all sit up and take note. And I think she'll be around for a while. That's a nice shot.
Well, obviously the teams get some practice time out on the ice prior to the event, but it's always different when you get a crowd into the building, different airflows. All 4 sheets have 2 teams on each sheet, so we'll change things up, getting a feel for it early in the event. That's why you see these open ends in the early going of World Championship events. I think Rachel here wants to hit and go to a different, maybe roll a little bit. It's in a different spot that Sidorova hasn't played yet in this end. And get her to maybe get a nose hit and force her to take one in this first, but looking like a blank setup. Well, it doesn't really go very far from that spot. And all those hits, all those draws into the open house, and now trying to retain the hammer will be Anna Sidorova.
So last stone of this first end of this first session of round robin play. And that was the plan.
Well, they play that whole first end to get the blank, and it'll retain the hammer for Russia heading to the second end.
So we're into the second end of our featured game between Russia and Canada. Good audience in for this opening session of round robin games. This is normally an ice hockey arena, home to the St. John Sea Dogs and the St. John Mill Rats. But it turns into a very nice curling arena.
Yeah, it's a nice little setting, good size for this World Championship. Lots of good crowds coming in to take in the curling. Obviously, be cheering for Rachel Homan on their side. But a lot of people have traveled with the European teams. You always see the contingents for Scotland. They'll be making some noise soon. And Sweden will have their followers.
And many of the folk here will remember the 1999 Ford World Men's Curling Championships. They took place here. And now international action is back in 2014. And plenty of interest in the game following the huge success of the Olympic curling in Sochi.
Well, I'm not surprised seeing this, see the centerline guard and the come around. Important placement for that stone, not too deep, just in the top of the forefoot. You want to keep that scoring zone, the area closest to the button, a little bit more available later in the end to try and get an extra point.
Canada have won 15 women's titles since the first championship in 1979. Hugely dominant over the years. And they usually do pretty well when it's held in Canada. One's nestled up very nicely.
But it has been 6 years since Canada has been on top of the podium at the World Championship. 2008.
Which I think would surprise
Jennifer Jones
a lot of people.
won it back then.
Yeah. And was that in Canada?
That was in Vernon, BC, but on the other coast, or not on the coast, but the furthest west province of Canada.
Yep, we're right over at the other side in New Brunswick, for those of you that know your geography.
It's a nice little tap, just changing the angles a little bit so that there's no double on those. That's the tough part. You're trying to set up the freezes tap so you can't get rid of that backstone. Well, very nice. Didn't see a lot of that stone, but we're able to come down and make a little tap, roll away, leave those two yellows flat. Well, doesn't like the situation now. Go up, peel the guard.
Yep.
Anna was trying to line it up to that side yellow stone.
Yeah, that's what she looked at, first of all. Just get rid of this one.
Well, catch the one in the rings. I'll just go over top of that one.
Elsewhere in sheet D, first end, Czech Republic against Sweden. Here's the fourth player, Maria Pritz.
I was hoping to stick around and get two there, but Maria Pritz ends up rolling out. So a missed opportunity there for Sweden. Get one, but they'll be disappointed they don't get that second point.
Sweden, the current Olympic silver medalists. Back in our featured game, Russia against Canada. Should see some points in this end.
Want to replace that guard. That one more curled just a little bit. May be able to see part of that red stone. So another attempt at this one. Try and peel it onto that side yellow.
Yep, let's see if she can catch it this time.
A little push on the end to get the extra weight. So again, just removes the guard.
Which was the primary objective.
Yeah, they'd love to peel that one on the side because then they could bring that stone in the back, 12 foot possibly into play, make the guard a little bit riskier for Canada to play. I think if they got that side one, they might have to go after, draw down to the back one or try and remove a Russian stone. Well, now this is just a struggle to get it over the hog line. Weigel, Kreviazik.
Well, there's the power of sweeping. Managed to edge it along into a good position. Although it's a long guard.
Well, continuing to play this, I thought they might try and go after it because the guard is longer. Get at that one, play a little tap and get shot stone. And that one peeled it the other way. I thought they were trying to go after it. Might have just been a little inside and peeled it the opposite way.
Margarita Femina not giving too much away there. There's the Canadian coach, Earl Morris. Nice hat.
He's got a nice ring, too. Championship ring? I don't know.
We'll have to ask him about that later.
Earl Morris, of course, father of John Morris. He's an Olympic gold medalist from 2010, world champion. Been working with these girls for a long time. Put in a lot of work with them, and it's paid off. He's thinks things a little bit differently. Some of the strategy a little bit more aggressive than some teams call, and you see the success that they've had. Rachel Homan at 24, two Canadian championships.
Thomas Lips, who's the Russian coach, was with them in Sochi.
They put a lot of time and money invested into the Olympics, and Thomas was part of that, coming in, trying and help and trying to run that one back onto the red and over the top. So still, that shot stone, top 4 foot.
I think we're at like a 14.5 for T there. So not quite at a 15. Not quite as quick as a drop off. Not quite 15.
And you see the crowd very close to the action. They get 4 for the price of 1 in here. 4 games, although I dare say most will be watching the one we're watching. Russia against Canada. We're in the second end. Alison Walker and Luke Coley bring you live commentary on the action here.
This one undercurrent, they're trying to just drag it as far as possible to guard up that stone top 8 foot, and I think there's an opportunity now for Russia to make a play and get shot stone.
Yep, there's definitely a channel there. Trying to see the rover he's looking at.
So the intern here trying to get past the guard. It's like maybe a hack weight. Well, and we'll chip it over the top, roll away, leave Canada lying 1-2.
It did look a little heavy.
It didn't look like a ton of weight, but just where the broom, I don't think the broom where she put it down matched the weight that she threw, causing it to chip it over the top.
It certainly goes down as a mistake from Russia. Canada in a great position.
Well, real good chance for Canada to put the pressure on Sidorova with their last. Lying 2 already.
And they've done exactly that. They've put the pressure on. They've done their bit.
Well, you heard the players back and forth going, we'd like to go, we want to go, waiting on line, and then Rachel says drag it as far as possible. Take it top 8 foot. And now second and first draw of the World Championship this year. Anna Sidorova's got to put it on the button.
Yep, still recovering from that vigorous sweep there. And they got that stone right into a great position. Last stone of the second end.
Well, and this is the opposite side of what Rachel just threw, so did see the freezes earlier in the end, this path on the out turn.
It's coming in nicely, but is it going to be enough?
Needs to get the button. And look at that, just to the back of the Ford logo, a clutch drop to get a single point.
Yep, under a bit of pressure, Anna Sidorova there, but she'll take much confidence from that. Executed it well. And after 2 ends, it's Russia 1, Canada 0.
Yeah, it sounded good. Sounds great. Keep up the good work. Oh, yeah. First time videos.
So we're into the third end of this game between Russia and Canada, our featured match. in the first session of round-robin games at these 4 World Women's Curling Championship 2014. And Russia managing to get that first point with their last stone.
Well, first stone in for the Russian side. Canada at the hammer. And Lisa Weigel, who at last year's Canadian Championship was named playoff MVP as a lead, playing a shot called the tick, where moving a guard in that free guard zone rule and just pushing it away from the center line. Not just in the 10th ends, which you see some teams play. One of those strategies that they use in a strategy to keep the center line open when they have the hammer. So first stone in, the corner guard. Now try and put the guard out in front. Katarina Galkina.
Sheet 8, update on Scotland against Latvia. Scotland with 1 after the first end. And here's the Latvian skip.
Evita Reja, the skip of this Latvian team. And calling for help. And try and get this one into the rings. And full 12-foot or better, and they get that second point. And so a 2-1 lead for Latvia over Scotland on sheet A.
Oh, it just almost caught that guard. Almost. That was very, very close. Wasn't that close, not really.
Oh, I had room to spare.
Great judgment.
So, keep you up to date all the other games.
Yep, Korea against Denmark. Korea with first blood in the first end. And here's the Danish skip, Madeleine Dupont.
Been a while since we've seen Madeleine. It's been Lene Nielsen for Denmark of recent years and at the Olympic Games. So Madeleine back here, and just a nice dust from the sweepers, just guiding this one into the house, into the 4-foot. And sits down, so they will get the triple to go up 3-1 after giving up a steal in the first end.
Yep, what a comeback from them in that second end. A great response from the Danish team.
Our feature game, they've been battling back and forth, trading these hits on this stone in the 4-foot. Saitova will try and make a play on that one. Side of the 4-foot. Well, right down to the nose of it. They were hoping maybe get a little flop to the center line. Now gives that opportunity Alison Kreviazek. Well, under threw that when I heard light. Didn't seem all that comfortable getting in the hack, just that conversation. I believe I heard throw it to make it, Allie, as opposed to she was worried about what weight. She wanted to throw more than what Rachel said. Early in an event, trying to figure out that weight and what weight you want to throw. But now it leaves Russia lying 2 and in a position to try and get a force.
In that case, do you listen to the skip or do you go with your own feeling? What do you do? Sheet deep, Czech Republic against Sweden in the game we haven't looked at. Sweden starting well enough in the first end. And now it's the Czech Republic's skip, Anna Gobeskova.
The left-handed thrower, you don't see that very often, is trying to get on the board with this hit. And Czech Republic and Kubeskova will stick around, so they get 2. And Sweden unable to do that in the first. Czech Republic with the lead.
Long way to go, as it is in all their games. But all teams, I'm sure, are feeling slightly nervous at the start, so good to get some points on the board.
In that same spot was Emma Miskew makes the nose hit after the guard goes up for Russia. Right now, not as important for Russia to make the roll. They want to hit and stick. Keep a force intact, but soon they're going to have to try and make a roll, or that Yellowstone will be out counting it. Well, important to stick around on this shot. He'll hit and will get fortunate to catch the backside of that yellow one to sit 1-2. Wouldn't surprise me if Rachel decides either use the corner or the center now that the 8-foot and 4-foot are wide open.
Yep, that might have headed out had that yellow one not been there.
And this just seems the case they're not sure what the draw weight is around that corner guard here. The discussion of, do you got a feel for what it is, or do we play the hit and try and roll underneath? And the hit is the ultimate decision. Well, just a little roll. It doesn't look like they're hoping to get in for shot stone. Right now, it is Russia still lying 1, and they can draw around the center if they like. Try and be aggressive, but with those 2 yellows, you might see them go and play the hit. Team's trying to get a feel for these stones. This is the first time these rocks have been used in competition, so no book on them. Everyone's got to learn as they go.
But they are all very consistently made to exacting standards. The stones made by Caves of Scotland on the Ayrshire coast from Ailsa Craig.
Well, last year was draw 6. These two teams met up against one another. It was a 5-4 Canadian win. But Anna Sidorova played 91% in that matchup.
And they're working hard with this one.
Well, they get it buried behind that guard. Top of the 8-foot. Look for a bit. They might not get it in for second shot, but it is shot stone. Galkina Saitova able to get that one far enough.
You can see it curling in. Great position.
You like teal? Forces them to make a good guard on their last release.
And then we draw the game. Just gotta make sure we take it big, that's all. Guys want to throw hack at it? If we clip that, yeah, like
It's totally guarded from that end. I know it cuts hard, but it's fully buried. It's like edge on edge.
we peel, it's the same as picking the guard open. We'll go to tight ice and throw hack. Okay. Little. Okay.
So these are interesting shots where you're basically calling two shots that would work. Ideally, you get to it and you try and roll over in front of that other redstone with about a hack weight. If they wreck on the guard, you want to make sure you peel it off, open it up. Don't be in between where you just paper the guard, leave it out in front.
Not as quick as the drop half.
Hacks are coming down.
Wait, go! Yep. All the way.
Well, they just touch it over. Will they get fortune on that yellow? Well, they push that guard over far enough that it's off the center line.
Yeah, that was nice. It's time to take that kind of ice.
The question is, when were they going to get off of the sweep to let it curl and make sure they get enough of that guard to move it over?
So a window, perhaps, of opportunity for Russia. Tense concentration on Anna Sidorova's face. Serious when she's curling.
We'll see if they decide to guard or try and bring another one into the house. Little bump. I want to tap this one straight on the nose. They do lie 3, but now because they don't catch it on the nose, they leave the open hit. Thought they might try and keep the sweep on and go straight back. And from what teams have seen from Rachel Homan in the last couple of years, if she has a hit, she'll play that as opposed to the draw. And this is what she loves to throw, is just to that open hit to pick up a single point and tie this game up.
So this is her kind of bread and butter shot. Third end, last stone.
Well, it needs to hit, stick around, just like that.
Yep, well executed from Rachel Homan. And after 3 ends, we've levelled things up. Russia 1, Canada 1. You're watching live coverage of the Ford World Women's Curling Championship 2014 in the Harbour Station in St. John, New Brunswick in Canada. And our feature game in this opening session of round-robin matches is Russia against Canada. And we're into the fourth end, as you can see. 1-1. And we certainly knew it would be close between these two. Canada coming into this one in great form.
And you look at Russia's first 3 games. They start off, they play 2 games today. They got Latvia later on tonight. And then tomorrow in the afternoon game, they only play 1 tomorrow. They get Sweden. So 2 of your first 3 are against probably your goal,
the big guns.
The favorites coming in,
Yep.
in Canada and Sweden. Ideally, you say if you can go 2-1 those first 3, you're happy. Right now, 1-1, fourth end. It's always interesting playing one of those top teams early in an event, because maybe they aren't totally comfortable with the ice, see in where to put the broom and get them on an off game to start a championship.
But then facing a team that's been in such great form, you know, that's got to be a big ask. A big ask, especially coming off the back of the Olympics, where it didn't go according to plan for the Russian girls at all. I'm hugely disappointed with their performance. I did an interview with them after their final round-robin game, and they were in tears about the way they'd performed. But you can take that both ways. You can come back stronger.
It's all in how you respond to adversity, and see some here from Canada with that one chipping, rolling off.
And a few teams here with points to prove. Not perhaps their strongest team being represented here. The Koreans certainly are. 3-1 to Denmark, trailing. Third end, last stone from Jisun Kim. Trying to get themselves back into this. Supers are working hard.
They want to tap this one up, try and tap it into the forefoot. And
is it enough?
Very close. See a couple brooms in the air. They look to make sure. It is 1 for Korea. So 3-2. Denmark with the lead, and they'll have the hammer into the fourth end.
So all the games out there on the 4 sheets, very, very close indeed. And nothing to choose between these two either. 1-1 in this fourth end. And to see New Brunswick and Nouveau Brunswick, and this is the only Canadian province, I hear, that is bilingual.
Yes, the country is bilingual. Recognize English and French, but the province, all the signs you'll see in St. John and all in New Brunswick, both English and French.
So most children from this province talk French and English at school.
Yeah, they'll go through with both languages. This is a big chance here for Russia now. Make a hit and roll. You can sit 3 early in the end. Get the little flop. They'll roll away. Still lie 3.
Still vulnerable though. Sheet D, Czech Republic against Sweden, third end. And it's Maria Pritz again for the Swedes.
Looks, they have a couple in the forefoot. Not sure if they're lying just 1 at the moment. Trying to go the yellow and try and slash it on to get that back red out. They'll just pick their own yellow to the top of the forefoot and just get 1. So look promising, but only a single for Sweden. 2-2 after 3.
A lot of stones in play there. Just 1 for the Swedes. one of the favourites here.
Well, and just for the Czech Republic, Anna Kubiskova, just one game today. They do get Sweden, the Olympic silver medalist, and then they'll get the world bronze medalist tomorrow morning in Canada. So a tough start for them, but tied up right now with Sweden.
I do think in some ways it's quite an open championship this year. Look, there's no the traditional powerhouses which are strong in curling, but some new teams, some new kids on the block, keen to make an impression. Could make it very, very interesting. One of them could be the Scots bunch. We're used to seeing Eve Muirhead and co. But this is a different team from Scotland. And the last stone from their skip.
Kerry Barr, the skip of the Scottish team, and it's really trying to go out wide. And this is a side sheet, so you never know with what the crowd effects on that sheet of ice. Trying to get into the forefoot, get an extra point. Just don't think it curls enough, and they'll only get 2.
It looked very straight actually going down that side, didn't it?
Had to go quite wide, I think, almost to the boards where the ice was, so just not enough curl. Lead for Scotland now. Of course, the Eve Muirhead, the reigning world champion, has passed the torch to Kerry Barr here this year. Obviously would have loved to come and defend her title, but she had that thing called the Olympics.
Yep, and I'm sure Eve will want that torch back. I'm sure Kerry Barr will give her a run for her money. So Anna Severova pointing to those yellow guards.
Well, trying to play the double peel. Pushes a Canadian stone in. And still Canada side of the button, lying 1. So we jumped over that update. They were able to get one behind that guard, forcing Russia to play the peel. Here's the double peel attempt, and catches it in the crotch of those two and pushes that one through and clears up the center line. They're trying to have it curl a bit so they don't leave that pick possibility that if there's a little bit of it showing. Wow, big sweep. Got to get this one past the guard. Just a little. Got that one going inside, and means it's all over the guard. Sweepers can't hold that one.
Yep, there's only so much they can do.
yellows. And even if we do the right beside each other. Okay.
There's a little scary to keep doing, but
What?
I don't know.
Like even if the guard's right here. Okay. In the house. Okay. I don't think she can pick it out. Okay. Let's do it. We just need a lot less ice, I think.
Well, here's a look at this last throw by Fomina, and just looks like she got it in a little bit, and lots of rotation. She wrecks on the guard.
As long as we get it over the line.
Still, though, forces Canada's hand. How do you want to play it? Do you go aggressively, put the guard up? If you miss it a little bit, leave it exposed. Second and third shots right now is Team Russia. Well, they said they could come into the rings, would be okay. Might leave a sliver of that one visible, but not a whole lot to make a play at. The guard does the job.
So, food for thought for the Russian girls.
Well, they'd love to be able to try and get shot stone. Not leave it to her last like she had to in the second.
What are you thinking, Luke?
It looks like they're trying to run that yellow back and try and pick it across the top of shot stone. Got to be careful they don't have this one over curl and then jam onto those back reds. Then you could be facing multiple counters with your last. But this trying to open up the center line. Even if they just peel it, they figure they still have the outturn draw to the button on her last.
Let's see what she comes up with here. Plenty of weight.
Well, trying to go across the top of it. We'll pick out that back red. Canada first, third, and fourth. Knew that was a risk with it. It's a better result than over curling and jamming on getting rid of both the reds.
Hoping it was going to catch that with a yellow. She says.
Just didn't look that comfortable with the right out of the hack. Just seemed off balance and wasn't a fluid smooth out of the hack to deliver.
Yeah, not as composed as she normally is.
Throwing normally? Yeah.
Canada hit sit 4. Force her to play the hit on that stone side of the 4-foot.
Just wanting to put as much pressure on the Russians as possible for their final stone.
Wasn't really too concerned where she rolled to on it because it was going to be a hit either way. As we go along in this game, you will notice on the hits where the broom is put for Rachel when she's throwing weight, almost middle of the rock, whereas you'll see some, as we'll see from Russia right now, a little bit off to the side of that stone. Just the way that they throw it, the release, and how much rotation. Obviously, Rachel throws hers with more rotations down the ice, will cause it to run straighter.
So again, pressure on Anna Sidorova to be as precise as she possibly can. Canada in a great position here. Last stone of this fourth end. And she executes it, completes the job. Not what she would have wanted, but she made that. And that was the important one. And after 4 ends, Russia 2, Canada 1. Korea against Denmark, and this the fourth end, 3-2 to the Danes at the moment, and it's the Danish skip again, Madeline Dupont, with the last stone of this fourth end. Coming back in this game and managing to knock that red out. Get one for Denmark, and that now gives them a lead of 4-2 after 4. Here you see all the games going on in this first session of round robin encounters. There are the names and numbers so far on our feature game. Nothing to choose really between the two teams. It's been pretty cautious so far. And it all adds up to Russia 2, Canada 1. Live commentary at Harbour Station here in St John, New Brunswick. And Luke Coley and me, Alison Walker. As this fifth end gets underway. And the fifth end, always a significant end in terms of games. Look, before the break, and you'd expect Canada to make a real play in this one.
Yeah, it's all on how you want to try and position yourself. Obviously, you have the fifth end break. Early in the game, a deuce would be nice. We've only seen singles. Canada's been able to put the pressure on against Russia without the hammer. Now they'd like to do it with last stone. It just seems Russia's fighting it a little bit just with their deliveries. They aren't as technically sound as they'd like to be.
They're getting themselves into some awkward positions and having to, Sidorova having to get them out of it. Canadians exerting the pressure when they don't have the hammer.
So the corner guard goes up.
Let's check on sheet A. Meantime, Scotland against Latvia, 3-2 to the Scots. Fourth end. And the Latvian skip again with the last stone.
Well, was hoping to hit. Even if they peel that one out, they get 2. Instead, just chips that one over. And it's just a single for Latvia. So missed opportunity there going to the wide side for Avita Regia.
Another close game, though.
Well, a few more guards out in play. Canada, no problem with that. I've seen Russia keep it a little bit simpler. Little hit, little flop to lie 2 for Russia.
On sheet D, Czech Republic are playing Sweden. Nothing to choose there either. 2-2, fourth end. And Kubaskova with the last stone for the Czech Republic. Trying to gauge what's happening from her face.
Well, needed to stick around, get their point, but they'll roll out and give Sweden one back. And a 3-2 lead now for Sweden.
She didn't look happy with that as soon as she threw it. Can't afford to give Sweden, a team of their experience, that kind of help.
Well, they're trying to run and have that red kick out even further into the 12-foot. Opens up the 4-foot in the scoring zone to play a draw around the center. Use the corner guard a bit if they like.
Tova's second stone.
Well, trying to sink another one around that center line guard, trying to lie 3.
And finishing in a decent position. And Russia do lie 3.
So trying to run this one just straight back. Alison Kreviazik. And goes right through the hole. Doesn't touch any of those red stones.
Just missing that back one. And yet, frustration there from the Canadian point of view.
Well, they leave that stone open, and the long guard doesn't do what Russia was looking for. It is Russia lying 3. I guess the roll hangs on to the edge of the 4-foot, just determining whether there's a port or not to get through. It looks like there is a port. It's just if you can get to it and get right at it and stick around without catching any of your backstones.
Have to get the line here absolutely spot on.
Past the guard. They do. Now their own. Wow, great sweep to be able to hold that one. They just about hit the guard and the red stone in the house.
Yep, that's the first time we've seen them smile. The margin for error there was absolutely tiny. Nicely played.
Here's a good look. Headroom past that one, and then just gets by and little roll underneath their red stone. Well, another aggressive call here from Team Canada, facing 3, looking to draw around that center line guard. Had great weight and continued to just glide once it got in there. Now is there the out turn to get at it through that port? I think you can get at it at the other turn.
Yep, it's certainly gettable. Again, if they go for it, they'll have to be very, very accurate. There you can see the gap. But they could use those red stones.
It's not going to overthrow this. Just quiet wait here. Skip stones. Well, not much to this one. They won't get through that port. They needed to be closer to the center line one, and they wreck on the outside one.
What was the danger? The line needed to be absolutely spot on. Meantime, on sheet B, that Korea-Denmark game, 5th end, 4-2 for the Danes. Jiyoon Kim with his final stone for Korea. Can't you get past the yellow?
Just touched it. Do they have enough to keep it going? It's gonna, looks like a steal. Is it a steal of 1 or 2? We're talking about maybe the stone was hit.
Heard the words 3 yellow there. And that is a sore one for Korea. That gives Denmark a 7-2 lead now over Korea after 5.
Well, in our feature game, a great chance for Canada to get a deuce after the miss by Sidorova. Guard that she hit shouldn't have been in play. I think she set it out on a release, and now an opportunity. Rachel Homan try and get that first deuce of this game.
Yep, and after being right on the back foot, Canada right back in it in this end.
Well, it sits for a second shot, but it's deep, and I don't think you can get down quite to it to be shot stone. It'll be very close if a perfect freeze is made onto it.
Smile from Rachel Homan, though.
We had to get it back 12. Yeah, it's not back 12. The shot. Well, now she can freeze in the shot.
Well, Canada thinks they can freeze to it and be shot stone.
I know, but what's Perfecto.
Может быть, конечно, не так родить, типа он пойдет чуть вниз, сбабливает, может, времени того. Мне нужен будет ролл. Нет, если между ними прям сильно попадать, он пойдет вниз еще. Давай. Ну да. Ну да.
Well, my initial thought there was to try and come down and play the freeze. Wonder if they can play the hit and get rid of
Чуть сюда, наоборот.
the top yellow. Basically the same shot she played. She was attempting to play. Can she get to it and try and make the double?
Если прям между ними попасть, он может пойти чуть вниз, типа стать ближе. Но вести это очень опасно. Можно было бы зайти, если бы везде.
So Anna Sidorova with her final.
Well, seeing if maybe she can get some movement off of that redstone and crotches them. Leaves that redstone shot top of the 8-foot. But a quiet weight hit, I think just anywhere to the inside and should be there for Homan to get two.
It's edge on edge, huh? You think it's there? Yeah, I think so. I think we can. It curls back. It's not dead straight.
What kind of weight do you want to throw? Just through? Okay. Let's go. You got this. Should come down a touch with just through, right?
It is barely there. I know. I gotta hit it to back to ball.
Okay.
Well, as long as they cross
You got this. Sorry.
the nose of this towards the center line of that stone, it should be okay. Just the worry of the jam on that stone back 8-foot. Of course, that center line guard in play for this final stone.
This back ring.
Yep, last stone of this fifth end before they head into the break.
Back line. Back line.
That'll be two for Canada.
Back line. Right off. Clean. Go hard. Yeah. Yeah. Hard.
Well, get to the inside, tap it through, and there it is. The first deuce comes in 5 for Rachel Homan and Team Canada.
Yep, the crowd enjoyed that one. And as we head into the halftime break, Russia 2, Canada 3.
I got it. Well, look back the first half highlights here. Second end and a facing 3. Anna Sidorova needs the button. And look at this, the sweeper's right to it. It sits down, back button, gets her single point, and a 1-0 lead. After a tap that left this stone open by Team Russia. Rachel Homan, Team Canada, her final shot has the open hit and stick to tie things up 1 apiece through 3. The fourth end again, Russia facing multiple Canadian stones. Sidorova, the intern hit. And she is good right on the nose for a single point. Canada will get the deuce in 5 and lead 3-2. Halfway through, draw 1.
Идет прямо, 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 потом там меньше оставалось намного, чем на дро.
Да.
То есть на дро я там чуть меньше 8, а эти прям 6 стояла. Я, наверное, с таким не посмотрела.
Делай вот так, чтобы беленькая.
Really?
Say that again?
It
You're doing a
drags
great job.
me. Whenever I kick out, it drags me.
Yeah.
No
Is there
kidding,
any way I
eh?
could get
It's
a water?
really sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have your
So
water bottle
like
in
I'm
your room?
sliding out and I can feel it
It might be
moving in
here,
my hand.
but
It's
maybe
brutal.
not.
It's really bad. I feel bad for whoever has to do that. And all the other strength.
Yeah. So,
Do you have to pee?
obviously manage as well as you can to keep throwing it for hits, right?
Do that now because I don't know if I'm allowed.
Even on hits.
Okay. Oh, it's back there. Sorry.
Yeah. Nice little freeze in the second end.
Well, look at the other scores here. Here in draw one, Scotland, Latvia, 3-3. Fifth end, Denmark got that steal of 3, so they're up 7-2 over Korea in their fifth end break, and Sweden 3-2 is there after 5 ends over Czech Republic. And the other games going on here in draw number 1 of the 2014 Ford World Women's Curling Championship. Look at the numbers after 5 ends. Overall percentage advantage Russia, but draws slight advantage 82-81 for Canada. And the hits, Russia 79 to Canada 74. No points stolen, the 1 deuce, the difference in the game, and that goes to Canada in that fifth end. So that leaves us 3-2 here in Canada, Russia. The Ford World Women's Curling Championships. St. John, New Brunswick, and Harbor Station, the venue for this year's World Championship. So Russia will have the hammer. We start the second half of this game. Russian side will try and bounce back. 2 young skips. Rachel Homan, 24 years of age. Anna Sidorova, just 23. Both not new to this experience at the World Championship level.
Line's good. Line's good.
Lisa Weigel gets us going. We'll see how aggressive they go to try and put the pressure on this Russian team. So centerline guard just a little bit off. New set of rocks, just trying to get a feel for it. It seems like sometimes there's lots of discussion both sides about the ice and what the stones are doing. As we look, Katarina Galkina, 93% on the game. So they come around important. Just want to be top part of the house. So top of the forefoot. Well, Lisa Weigel, 80%, had a couple of misses early in the game that will cause that number to be lower. Well, just chips off, and that mistake from Lisa. So early advantage to Team Russia. See if they can take advantage. Looks like trying to hit and roll off of that one.
So the halftime chats, look, what will the respective coaches have been chatting to the
I think it's just
players
talking a lot of rocks, a new set of rocks they're trying to get a feel for, and no need to pick and get too in depth with things early in the game. Nothing major that came out from either side, so just had a little snack, a little relax. And now Canada and Lisa Weigel looks like, or pardon me, Alison Kreviazek, has a chance to make this double.
Things did look quite cautious in those first 5 ends. Neither team taking too many risks. 57% for Alison. She wants to improve on that in this second half, and that was a well-executed shot. Only a bit further.
I thought they'd be able to get that redstone all the way out of the rings. Alison not totally happy that she didn't. Just caught that first one a little too thick. Catches it a little thinner, they'll get both those reds out.
Sektova's had a good game so far. She played a couple of crackers in that last end. She's 85%. That lovely shot through the very, very tight port. So her stats are good. Again.
Well, just gets by and will right top of the forefoot to lie two. Well, that hit and stick right there has forced Canada now to go hit the wide one.
Is that the shake of the head? Was that relief, or was that, oh no?
I think relief that they got past the guard and able to make that hit and stick. Now, stick here is important for Canada because they're basically saying, Russia, make sure you hit and stick. You roll out, then I have a shot.
Sheet 8, Scotland, Latvia. A tight one here too. 3-3, fifth end. Scottish skip, Harry Barr. And down the left-hand side, left-hand channel, and it's quite wide. She's been down this side a few times.
Yeah, it's always an interesting spot to figure out. I'm trying to get all the way around everything. And it looks like she's able to get around it this time and get enough of the forefoot.
Yep, nicely played from the Scottish skip.
Meanwhile, another big scrub from the Russian side to get past a guard.
Oh, that one was terribly close. Terribly close, but well played. She enjoyed it. Canada giving this one a bit of weight.
Well, trying to run it back. They'll tick the top one off. And able to get it out of the rings and into that dead zone past the house.
Rachel Woman ready to get that one out of the reckoning. Margarita Fomina, the third for Russia. 75% in this game.
That one doesn't sit behind the guard, just comes to the side of the button. Probably just see all of it.
I can't see it all.
It's really
She's listening to you, look.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I don't miss any shots from up here.
This is the way to play curling. This is the most successful position. Watching from afar. Well, the guys do the hard work down there. Miscue outperforming her team 93% for the Canadian third.
Back four. Whoa. Just line. Little tap. Yeah. Back four. Back whoa. Back four.
And another good shot from her.
Yeah, she's come up with some key ones and able to just move that one back a little bit. They don't get shot stone, but their second shot forces Russia to go after it. If they just straight peel it, they have a freeze on a stone behind the tee line. It's the problem with Russia's stones behind the tee line right now. Well, they'll just pick that one out. And shooter rolls out of the rings and out of play. Now is that two options. Can play the freeze with that one back forefoot, or play the hit, and the freeze is the call.
M gave her a nice positive release, and so it carried nice.
Okay.
Yeah. 83% for Rachel Holman.
That's a good thing. He's
Played decent enough, but she'll want to improve on that stat, knowing her standards.
Yeah, they want this one right on top of that stone back forefoot.
How close is it going to get? Very close.
Well, the crowd will tell you, right? With that cheer, they like it. Good judge there by the front end. And we'll put that one right on top. And now that stone an issue for Russia and Anna Sidorova.
So hard to gauge this exactly. They want it as close as possible, touching if possible. Make it as difficult as possible for Anna Sidorova.
Ну да, но чтобы ей усложнить, а ты что? Ну пробил я, останется один этот открытый, но его пробивать никогда не говорила. Если здесь получится, допустим, чтобы он даже отъехал, тут, конечно, тоже будет стоять двойной, но не сделает. Не, на таком хорошем даже если...
Well, there's a look at that one on the button. That's the problem is because they have the redstone there, if they want to try and move things around, they're going to just build a bigger wall back there to keep that Yellowstone. You're not going to be able to get shot stone out of this one. Unless you can throw it overhand to try and blast that yellow one, get it out of the 8-foot. But even if you play that, it's going to catch onto that back redstone, and Canada or it's not going to spill it out far enough.
So a shot fraught with difficulties.
Well, it just shows you how important rock placement is.
In time on sheet B, Korea, Denmark. Remember Danes with that 8-3 in the last end. 6-N now, 7-2. Korea desperate to get back into this game. Tapping that one. How many, I wonder, for Korea?
Does it look like a handful there?
It could be very good indeed for them.
And 4 red. Not quite a handful. It's missing one finger there, but it's 4 for the Koreans to get within 1 again.
Yep, right back into it. What a response from this young Korean team. That will do wonders for the confidence. Back here.
As Anna Sidorova tried, as I was saying, didn't think they would be able to spill that yellow one out. Wasn't aware, didn't think she could throw it hard enough to get that one fully out of the house. And left that Yellowstone shot stone for Team Canada. Chance to draw in lie 2.
Again, judging it very well indeed, Rachel Homan.
Would have liked it to curl more. That leaves Russia an opportunity to play a little tap and get their 1. It doesn't have to move it that far. If it's top 4 foot, you have to move it 4 feet to get shot stone. Now, just a couple of feet in order to get a shot rock.
But again, Russia restricted to possibly only getting the 1 here. They haven't managed more than that the whole game so far. And Anna Sidorova is 64% for her game accuracy, which is not great. Last stone of the 6th end.
Well, she's made some key shots. Clutch times. Need another one right now. Well, they'll tap it far enough and able to get their single point. So all square again, this time at 3.
6 ends played. Again, nothing to choose between these two.
So 3 singles for Russia. one deuce and a single for Canada. That has us all knotted up at 3 apiece. Here, the Ford World Women's Curling Championship. Luke Coley, Allison Walker, and Russia hasn't been able to get much going with the hammer throughout this game, but Sidorovas come up with shots when needed.
Yep, and I also think Canada's been pushing them and putting them in that position where they've had to produce that final shot just to keep tabs on Canada. I just feel maybe just one goes right for them, it could change things. But I don't think we've seen the best of Russia yet in this game.
So I talked about this earlier. Here's where we're going to see this tick shot. Try and move that center line guard off for Lisa Weigel. This is something you rarely see by teams until the 10th end of a close game or an extra end of a close game. They like to use it at any point to try and keep that center line open.
We didn't see it too much in the Olympics either.
But that one, that's the reason why. It's an all or nothing shot. You miss it, slides right by. So now a free shot to go around that center line guard.
But at this stage in the end, not necessarily that crucial if you do miss it completely.
It is crucial if Russia makes a nice come around, and then Canada will be chasing throughout the entire end.
So it always depends on the next few shots. Canada must feel it's worth the risk, though.
They have a lot of confidence in Lisa to play that, and that's where you can play it, and they know they'll have to make a bailout shot at some point.
Let's check on the Czech Republic against Sweden. 6th end. Mikavitskova gifting Sweden when she had the last stone in the previous end. This time, trying to get back on track.
They push it out far enough. Possibly bring in that stone in the top part, see if it's in the rings.
It may only be the one.
It is in the rings, so 2 for the Czech Republic. And their second deuce of the game to lead 4-3 over Sweden. See how much of maybe an Olympic letdown? It's how much do you go and practice after the grueling grind that the Olympics are.
And not just the physical grind, the emotional and mental grind that there was, and the roller coaster that Sweden were on. You know, what do you, how do you improve on a silver medal at the Olympics? Well, apart from winning gold at the next Olympics, but
gold at a World Championship's pretty good, but.
And that's eluded Margarita Sigfridsson, so she'll be very, very hungry for this title. Long way to go before then, and these two teams might well be in the frame. Canada, I'm sure, will be, and Russia, with their experience, would expect to be at the business end of the week.
I think it's just building throughout the week. They were getting back into it. I bet you they took some time off after the Olympics, didn't throw for a while, and just stepped away from the game for a little bit to prepare themselves for this, as opposed to, okay, day after, get back out on the ice.
Practice, practice, practice on sheet 8, Scotland, Latvia. Scotland leading 4-3 on the 6th end. And here she goes. The Latvian skip.
Ivica Reja.
She missed a couple of opportunities, but also produced a couple of great shots to keep her team right in this.
Yeah, here's another opportunity to take the lead. And it only has to hit the house. Always nice when a skip can have that shot at the end of an end. So they get 2 and a 5-4 lead.
Back to our feature game, Russia against Canada. 3-3 here. It's been so close all the way through.
Well, they were trying to just touch that guard over, and you see that one on the button. That was the come around.
Alexandra Saitova. A good game for Russia. Some good setup play.
Well, does it have enough to get that one out? That one really over curling on them. As we saw in the fifth end, just takes one miss for a team to have an opportunity. Now, Team Canada has that opportunity in Alison Kreviazuk to make a hit and roll.
Weight's good. Little up. Board. Board. Wow. Really hot.
Well, we'll hit, and are they going to get lucky? And they won't. They'll roll out. So that opportunity goes.
Yep, so a couple of loose shots from both sides.
Well, there's a mistake right back. A wide open miss, and missed it by about half a rock.
Yeah, that missed by quite a wide margin, so her skip. I'm wondering if there's something went wrong here.
Watch the release. See if maybe she sets it out on her release. Might have done that. Might have been just a little bit popping it out while putting the rotation on.
These girls make it look so easy, but these margins are tiny. One slight move the wrong way.
Well, they just get by that one, and very nice, able to hook around. Well, trying to follow that path down. After her flash on her first, try and be making up for it. And that one slides right by, back 8 foot. So 2 misses from the Russian third. So trying to wrap another one. Don't want to go down to that back one. They know that they can if need be, but they'd like to leave things behind those center line stones. Well, pretty good, able to get that one around. They didn't have much more to finish at the end, but look here. This one's still on the other side of the center line coming into the house. And it slowly but surely made its way.
So Russia on the back foot in this end. They need a response here.
Может даже двойной получиться.
Well, a discussion there. Means chance to take a look. Game right next to him on sheet B.
Yep, Korea against Denmark. Korea producing great stuff in that sixth end. We're on the seventh now, and it's the Danish skip, Madeleine Duhon.
Well, facing 3 here. Looks like has to hit the button in order to get that single point. Wow, this one comes down. Will it stop? How far will it go? It slides past them all. Just in the fifth, after the fifth end, it was 7-2.
Looks like maybe 2 to Korea. A steal of 2, or is it 3?
I believe it. I thought it was 3. They're going to take a look.
Definitely 2 anyway. So Korea really asserting themselves in that one.
Meanwhile, our feature game, Anna Sidorova, is playing those guards back, going red onto the 2 yellows.
She could do with this coming off here. Russians under a bit of pressure.
And it was 3 for Korea. Trying to run that one back, gets the top yellow out. Opens everything up. So able to get the 1. Gutsy call, because she had to make sure she got something of that. Just had enough to get that top one out.
Girls looking at it on the replay there. Above us in this arena.
So that Korea-Denmark game has been a wild one. Couple of 3s by Denmark. Well, 7 unanswered points by Korea to take the lead back.
So 9-7 in that Korea-Denmark game. 3-3 here.
You guys can sweep. Sure, sounds good. Mine's more important. You know this line, eh?
Yeah, this is the same as Emma's. Same as I sweep this one.
Okay.
Same as you threw a few ends ago.
Line's tight. Line's a bit tight. Maybe a little light. Gotta go. What do you think? Back 8. Hard. Wait, only. Whoa. Gotta go wait. Go wait if you have. Actually, back 12. It's gotta curl. No.
Well, they want to come to that back one. And they'll sit 1-2. Well, sheet A, another update here. Carrie Barr, the Scotland skip.
Yep, Scotland trailing. They could do something working out in this end, 7th end.
It is Latvia lying 1, seeing if they can try and pick it off the face. Pick it off, get their 1. Very nice to tie that one up.
That's the best we could do. We couldn't have got through that.
Meantime, Canada. Nice position here, line 2. Russia having to come up with a plan.
Well, sizing up this double, but there is risk involved. If you catch it and just miss that yellow one, you can jam it and give up possibility of 3 or even 4 if you set up a double. So going for the risk with a risky first shot, now her second shot. Peel that one off, make the double, forcing Canada to take 1. You end up jam this one straight back, you could give up 4.
So Anna Sidorova, Russian skip. Important shot from her.
While trying to get the double. And jams it there. Now where did they, if they rolled off to that side one, is there, shot it? No, it's just gonna be the draw for 2. So a chance for the second deuce for Team Canada. Rachel Homan has to be happy.
Yeah, you gotta keep your extension.
This is the end that started with the missed tick shot as well.
So in the end, if she pulls this off, it didn't matter.
He misses in the middle of the lineup from both sides. Allows this draw for 2.
Yep, been a few errors in this end.
In.
No problem at all for Rachel Homan. Disappointment for Russia, but it's a deuce. It's 2 for Canada, and after 7, Russia 3, Canada 5. You're watching live coverage from the Ford World Women's Curling Championship 2014. This is Harbour Station in St. John, New Brunswick. And this is our featured game on sheet C, Russia against Canada. As you can see, Canada picking up 2 in the 7th end to take a 5-3 lead going into this 8th end. And Canada, I feel, look playing very much within themselves here.
There are some uncharacteristic misses by them that they're probably going to be disappointed with, but they still have a 5-3 lead. First game of an event. As we compare the numbers, rarely do we see the difference. Lisa Weigel, one of the top leads at all the Canadian Championship, she's got low numbers at 70%, while 95 for Galkina.
How you interpret some of these things, though. Tick miss in the last end.
Yeah, sometimes degree of difficulty. I know sometimes makes it tougher to put up high numbers. But there, has missed those Numerous misses from Lisa in this game. Centerline guard by Team Canada. The corner guard, a little different strategy by Team Russia.
Elsewhere, 7th end in the game between the Czech Republic and Sweden on sheet D. Ria Pritz with the last stone.
Has a hit here. Looks like
Just going
for a
that red
bunch.
one. Yep.
Hit and stick for 5. And hits and rolls out.
And what are we left with there?
Still take 4 though, so 7-4 Sweden. And showing the silver medal material there to take a 7-4 lead after 7.
Some big numbers in that game too. No, big ones in our featured game. Very cagey.
Oh, a nice roll to get underneath there. Galkina able to make that roll. She's playing outstanding here in this game.
It was a very safe pair of hands in this Russian team.
Well, straight back. Just a little roll off, but
A little smile.
wow.
Allison.
She won't smile when she sees the numbers of that one, but she'll be happy to make that shot.
She wants to look at it again. On the big screen.
Yeah, of course, the video board, the players will be able to look at throughout the games.
They're not looking up to God and thanking.
Well, now trying to get through this port. Rolled out in the open just a little bit. But they will not get by and touch the front.
It was always looking a bit too close to call that. Supers doing their best.
Take tight ice.
So here she goes again with her second shot.
And the call to peel the guard, they lie one, they could go on the aggressive to try and do that, but this is the style of game that won them the Canadian Championship. And I said it earlier, Rachel didn't have to throw her last rock in any game because they got up early in all their matches.
Yep, the job was already done.
Внимательно смотрите, посмотрите, смотрите. О, девочки, есть вес, мне кажется. Средний, дальний. Так, девчонки, да-да-да, поближе. Да-да-да, еще, ближе, ближе.
So another guard goes into a different position. They want to try and mix it up so they're not throwing a peel into the same spot, knowing the ice inside and out. Well, didn't want to spin that yellow one in, or red one, pardon me. And that's the worry. They spill that one in, and now Russia's set up to score 2. All of a sudden, just like that. But advantage, miscue as we compare to the thirds. Their numbers in this game draws the big difference there.
Yep, she was the 100% with the hits.
Was until that one.
That's what usually happens with stats. When you've got good ones, you miss the next shot.
Well, need to hit and stick. That's probably play that peel. Rolls that one just in.
She could do with a good one here. Make up from that error in the previous.
Well, they want to roll it to the center, maybe get a nose hit back and a chance at a double. Well, all these for Russia now. Set up to score 2 and tie the game up. We'll get the nose hit.
Roll. Yeah. Okay. How much?
Control. It's a lot of ice.
Control? Okay.
Well, they could nose it, try and get a nose back, and then play a double under last. Looks like trying to hit and roll.
Control. Really hard for nose. Hard. Hard.
Okay.
I'll have the double. Sit. Come here.
Yeah.
Come here.
Comparison of the two skips. Sidorova and Holman. Holman way out front on every area of the game.
Well, and she scored the deuces on those misses, so that was the key, is utilizing when they got the opportunity, take advantage of their opponent's missed shots.
Could this end prove the turning point for Russia?
Well, the nose hit happens, and that's what Rachel's trying to line up. Now she'll have one. Her last rock will be a crack at the double to get out of this without giving up 2.
How are you throwing it? Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Well, one
Can she
shot
get
at this
2?
double.
Can she get 2 here?
Get it.
Yes, she can. And you can hear the crowd's reaction to that one. The angles were just perfect.
And a lot of that has to go to the credit of them. They set it up to try and line up for 1 shot at that double. We're on the wide side when you're facing 2. Hit and roll in. Got a nose hit. Exchanged a couple more noses, knowing that you might have 1 shot at the double. And then obviously the execution is key.
Yep, you still have to pull it off. You can be great position. The stones can be in the right place, but you still have to make the shot, and she did. So last stone of this 8th end from Sidorova. Not what she would have wanted, but she can secure the 1 point. And she's going for a blank and trying to do a bit more in the next end.
Blank try and set up for a deuce and 9, so 5-3.
Oh well, I'll stand here. All right, guys. Good. Good job, guys.
The alternate's playing. She's throwing lead.
Okay, yeah. Oh, the one at the bun. Oh, yeah. I'm not supposed to say now it's just going to mess me up. But usually they bring up the team lineups just before the game starts, but nobody brought anything up. So I need to say that. You're watching live coverage of the Ford World Women's Curling Championship here at Harbour Station, St John, New Brunswick, 2014 Women's Championship. We're watching our featured game, which is Russia against Canada. And Canada leading 5-3. In a really good position with the ends running out. And Russia really, as yet, look to make their stamp, their impression on this game.
Canada's last end showed why they're such a good front-running team. When they play the peels, make a mistake, spin one in, allow Russia to lie two, and then make the doubles when needed. It can become frustrating to try and come back against a team that won't let you keep guards out in front, plays the peels, and doesn't leave anything. So all Russia can do, they need to focus on each one of their shots, make that shot, and just try and get a deuce here.
Yeah.
Tie the game up.
They've been stopped from playing. They haven't really made too many mistakes themselves. They've just been stopped from doing anything spectacular and getting those points. But they blanked the last end, so they have the hammer. So let's see what they can do in this ninth end.
The last end, Canada started centerline guard. This time they go into the house.
Looks heavy. Yeah. On top. Line's okay. Right on top, right. Little bump.
Lisa Weigel has to bring another one
It's got a curl. Feeling weight.
right to it.
No. Okay.
Well, a little bit of an overlap. One of them, obviously, one in front of the other. These rocks now can be used. A little tap back isn't a bad play for Russia. Keep those stones in. They're your friend right now.
And Galkina has been playing these shots well.
Whatever she does, she needs to hold her shooter. Otherwise, that corner guard's going to be peeled off in an instant by Team Canada. And very nice hits, rolls in front. Canada line one. Still might see the corner guard get peeled. Force Russia to make that move in the house.
On sheet B, meantime, this is quite a game between Korea and Denmark. 9-7 to the Koreans. And it's the last stone from the Danish skip.
Yeah, Madeline Dupont, she has an angle raise here. She could raise double. It could be for 5. Will she get lucky and spin off it? Won't. It'll just graze off the top ones, and instead it's a steal of 2 more for Korea.
Tiny
11-7.
margins there. Goodness me, what a game that is.
So it was 7-2. Korea then scored 4, stole 3, stole 2.
Wow.
Just when you thought Denmark had control, up by 5, it's now 9 unanswered points.
Yeah, and seeing the total doesn't tell the story by any means, because those 2 last shots were so close, the 2 ends where they had the big losses. Look, but anyway, that will not show in the record books. It's all about the win.
We saw a peel of the corner guard in our feature game, and then a corner guard on the other side put up by the Russian side, and Alison Kreviazek trying to peel, trying to get something, and will just catch it and not disturb the rocks in the house.
Right, so what's happening in this Scotland-Latvia game? We're in the 8th end, 5 apiece. Very, very close. It's your friend Luke with the
Evita
last stone.
Areza has a chance here. She could punch that one out, score a couple. Here in this tie game. She doesn't like it. They're
dear,
trying to
no.
get it to move.
She
Body
knows.
language isn't working, and it will miss
knows.
everything and go through. So a steal of 1, 6-5 Scotland.
She knew that as soon as she delivered it. Missed opportunity. 6-5 after 8 ends. We're in the 9th end in our feature game, Russia against Canada.
And that was a corner guard attempt by Team Russia. Slides into the house. Sets up a possible double here for Emma Miskew.
And this one building up nicely. See some drama in these last couple of ends, I think.
Well, trying to make sure they catch something of this. Got that one going, and a flash from Emma Miskew.
Just need the crowd's groan there to tell you what happened there.
Well, look at this one. They're trying, as soon as she let it go, it was, yep, gotta go. And got nothing but air.
So, drama as predicted. Where does this leave Russia?
A short little raise to lie 3, but got to get separation with their shooter. Meanwhile,
though, yep, let's check on the Czechs against Sweden. It's been quite a game too. Anna Kubiskova trying to get her team back in this. In the 8th end, the sweeper's just watching it.
facing a couple, just hits sticks. We'll get one, so a 2-point lead for Sweden.
So the Czechs still in there.
While Emma Miskew missed on her first, now has to make a double after Fomina made the short little raise, got some separation of some stones. There is this double available. But doesn't get the double, just gets one.
So advantage still very much in the Russian camp.
Нет, оттуда не легче. Ну ладно. Мне нравится. Треугольник будет. Главное зайти. Подальше. Смотри. 0. Нет, 3. 0 для тебя не будет зайти. У нас есть 5-9.
Well, decision, where do you go with this? Try and keep them separated. Tough not to leave a double at some spot in the house. Want to try and keep them separated so you can get a chance at your 2 in this 9th end.
Russia really could do the 2 here. or more.
Yeah, deep in the rings is good. Keep them separated. A lot of room between the two. I think Rachel's going to, Homan will be looking at the top two reds.
Что если привезли на край, то это вот так вот.
So Rachel Homan from Canada trying to receive the situation from a...
Well, get one, make the double.
Crowd enjoying that under a bit of pressure. Rachel Homan that pulls it off.
She loves to throw those, and she throws them very accurately, sees the angles, and that throws the out turn at it to get the flat spin to catch it on the side stone.
Yeah, the way the stone is spinning, absolutely crucial to making that shot.
She is 24 years of age, but she's been curling for 19 of those years.
I wonder how good she was age 5.
Probably better than myself.
Me too.
And she's worked with Earl Morris a long time, and with this team, Canadian junior champion, lost a championship, a world championship, Eve Muirhead.
So it's back to plan B for Russia. And is that going to head out as well?
And that one just out. That's tough to tell. I'm going to say it's out.
I think it's out from this angle. The grimace from Anna Sidorova. Just how we look at it herself. Just overdoing it.
You sure it's in? Yeah.
Well, Anna thinks it's out with that reaction there, but put the broom here. I think Rachel sees she's not taking any chances, and when you just made the double you did, and the last end you're feeling it, she's going to try and make this double.
Yep. She's going for it. So Rachel Homan's last stone of this end.
Take it out like a can block.
She's going for both of these.
Roll it, Ollie. Roll it hard.
Well, here just trying to roll it over now. I don't know if they'll make the double, but just try and roll it over a bit. Not quite enough.
The angle was certainly right. She's not quite enough on it.
Well, they tried to jump it over and sit in front, make this tough. Sidorova still needs to make the hit and stick.
Again, it all comes down to the Russian skip in this 9th end. Last stone. She's had some really difficult last stones under pressure to make.
Well, that one right on the beak.
Yep, no problem. And Russia get there 2 after 9 ends. All square, Russia 5, Canada 5. She makes it look very easy. Yeah.
And you know what? You don't have to be precise. She's so strong here. It's like, and a lot of that is.
I like the way she plays. She's going to make the game boring. That's scary.
Саша, добавим приличие, смотрите внимательно. Внимательно! Свип, линия, свип! Внимательно!
So we're into the 10th end of this intriguing contest between Russia and Canada. 5-all. 2 for Russia in the last end. The first 2 of this game.
We'll see these tick shots. We'll see the first. We'll see 2 guards go out for Russia, ideally to try and steal in this 10th end. Weigel missed one earlier in the game.
Real close. Wait, gun, yep. Back line, really hard. Hard! Hard, hard, hard! Where's the weight? Weight's really good.
Well, they just can't remove that stone. As you see, Fomina also out there, and now Rachel to try and get it out of the rings and keep it in that dead zone. And you may think, well, she left that yellow stone still out as a centerline guard. They can peel it on their next because it's their own rock.
Just a different strategy, different approach to the game. Adds another dimension, certainly, at this level.
Дальний самый. Смотрите сами, snap туда. Дальний самый. Обязательно будет. Саша, Вера. Саша. Свип. Обязательно.
So they want to try and guard up that yellow stone so that Canada can't peel it out. A few different options you can draw around.
You missed the top. We can split our zone. Okay. Haley, same weight. Yeah, same weight.
And sheet B. Back to this amazing Korea-Denmark game. 9th end now. 11-7 to Korea. To try again with this final zone. Hugely unlucky in that last one. Can they get back into this?
Yeah, they got to keep this high. Don't know if they can move it far enough because it's frozen to the other one. Question where the shooter, if it rolls off or not. It'll roll off and will end the streak, but only get a single point for Denmark.
So that's them played 9. And it's 11-8. So one more end. So Denmark up against it, against the Koreans. Meantime, our featured game. We're already in the 10th end. And it's 5-all, as you can see from the board behind there.
And it was a tick shot made by Lisa Weigel. Pushes that one off to a corner position. Shooter rolls. Still in play, but in that area past the rings. Well, they need to get this into a good steal position. Now, Alison Kreviazek. See if she can try and Just straight peel the guard or run it back and pick that one out. If they can, try and roll the shooter off a little bit, but it'll catch it and sit one. Well, another important placement. Try and get this one in. Knowing there is no path with that intern side to get to these. See that another run back is.
Yep, there's a final score in one of our games out in the arena, and it's victory for Sweden, 10-5 over the Czech Republic. Sweden picking up 3 in the final end. The Czech Republic had pushed them all the way, but the Swedish Olympic silver medalists experience taking them through for their opening game victory. It's the only game that's finished.
Well, another run back and another run back made and leaves Canada lying 2. The only thing with that, they still leave guards and they still leave the 4-foot available to draw in there. And for Russia, it doesn't matter if you give up 7 or you give up 1. It's you go all out to try and steal. It doesn't matter those yellow stones are there.
One shot will do it. One steal will do it.
Well, they need to get shot stone. Go side of the button. I think Rachel is referencing a shot by Lisa Weigel earlier in the end that crossed center down this pass. So you see 93% on her 10 hits. Did have the flash last end. Well, they're on the guard, so they're going to make sure they push it off, open things up. So guard's a bit higher this time. Try and make the same play. Well, Kraviasik and Weigel by the guard.
Beautifully judged. And he's illegal.
Yeah,
Supers did their stuff.
I don't think you can throw that, get a better result than that. I thought they're hoping to try and get it more to nose, but just with that weight, head roll just a little bit to the side. Now there is a little bit of a hit and flop.
It's all about the yellows here. Great position for Canada.
Well, and Russia did call a timeout.
Мне тоже нравится ролл, девочки. Ближе будет сложно привести. Но ближе, точнее, не будет закрытый.
Нет, просто не будет смысла даже если у нас будет он лучше, чем все остальные.
But just it's back 8, back 12, something like that. Doesn't matter, just move this out 8 foot that you roll. Even you roll a bit too much, it doesn't matter. I think now you have to be shot. That's the main point.
Типа там на 7. Да? 7?
Да, можно. Главное, контролировать можно 6. Ну да,
Well, Thomas Lips makes one real key point in that need to be shot. And I would agree also. Make that little, you can either play a tap and roll, you can play whatever you feel the right weight is in order to make that hit and roll behind the centerline guard. You can even over-roll it behind the yellow a little bit and still sit side of the forefoot.
But you need to be the one that's counting. That's the bottom line, whatever means it takes.
Well, they got to hold it to make sure they sit for shots. They won't remove that stone. They'll hit, roll away. And our fourth shot.
I kind of stopped with my hand. It would have gone further, but I don't. It's just letting you guys know.
Can I call timeout? I don't know how to feel it that way. We could try to shoot it in this way.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Do you want to call time? You want to talk to her? No?
There's a bit of go thin.
You want to go that way?
This way it hits so many things. If we nose it on that, it's not bad. We just have to make sure we don't roll it.
But even if I go by, yeah, like even if I pick my own out, it's not ideal, but
Yeah. This is like pretty thin. Yeah. This is tough to get it over this one. I think this is go thick on this, like
Whatever way you think is, you can see better, right?
sorry.
Whichever way you feel like you want to throw. Whatever turn you think's easier.
I don't mind this because if I stuff that, it's not a big deal.
thin.
Yeah.
Well, it's the second Allison Kreviazek that came down and made a point and says, whatever you see, let's throw.
Gotta hit a quarter.
I think there are some things that could go wrong. That's the problem. There's lots of rocks on the side of the rings, but it's tough to spin it that far to get it into a position that could be used for Russia.
I think you're right. I'm out.
Okay. Are you throwing it?
Quarter.
This wheel straight here. Okay. Little less.
So we're going to try and go between the two yellows on that side. Solid numbers on her hits.
Go thick. Go thick. Go thick. Yep. Whoa.
Well, right through the holes. Shooter rolls off. Now where can you hide one if you're Russia?
Well, you can't really.
I think if you're Anna Sidorova, you want Rachel Holman to throw a draw with her last stone and try and hook around that one top of the 8-foot just a little bit.
We haven't seen her play too many draws, Rachel Homan. The hitting part definitely a real strength of hers. So Anna Sidorova needs to make sure this one is counting.
Нет, нет, это совсем. Только Саша. Саша, 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 Тоня.
Well, need to be shot stone. Well, Emma Miskew on to sweep it. Will they have to throw her last? They won't. It's going to go by, and it'll be 2 for Canada in the win. Rachel Homan doesn't have to throw her last.
She made it nice and easy in the end for Rachel Homan, and it's a first win in their opening game for Canada. And the crowd are absolutely delighted. There's the final score. Russia 5, Canada 7.
Well, look back, second half highlights here in the 7th end. Really another mistake by Russia taken advantage of by Rachel Homan as she has the open draw right to the button. Gets 2 and makes a 2-point lead. Well, in the 9th end, a couple of misses. Rachel Homan almost got over in a tough spot, but leaves the open hit for Russia to tie things up at 5. Hit, stick, there's 2 for Russia, and it's 5-5 heading to the 10th end. And it all came down Russia. Anna Sidorova, her final stone, needs to get shot stone, but it will not sit down. This one sliding, and sliding well deep. It'll go all the way into the 12-foot, and it'll be 2 for Canada. And they win without their last 7-5. Rachel Homan picks up win number 1, 2014 Ford World Women's Curling Championship. The other games going on. Scotland trails Latvia 8-6. In the 10th end, well, Korea 11-8 for Denmark, and Sweden victorious 10-5 over the Czech Republic. As we look at the standings, some of the other ones just wrapping up, but Canada and Sweden, no surprise at the top with wins. China, Germany had buys this draw. Well, you see Russia and Czech Republic at the bottom with the 1 loss, as we are very early here in the 2014 Ford World Women's Curling Championship.
Our first win under our belt, and now we get to have a bit of a break now and regroup for tomorrow.
And in front of your home crowd, how does that feel?
Yeah, it's amazing. A little bit different than Riga last year. A lot more fans here cheering us on, so it's nice to play with the crowd and celebrate with them.
And to start with a win over Russia, you know, a decent team, obviously a good team from the Olympics, and a good win.
Yeah, I mean, they played really well. Not too many misses out of them, so we had to take them when we could and try and get our 2 when we could. So tight game right to the end, and went down to the last shot, so it's good.
What made the difference between the two, do you think?
Between
the 2 teams?
Oh, I mean, just 1 or 2 misses, and we were able to get a 2, and a couple of big doubles from my team, and were able to get out of a couple of ends as well. So we had to fight for every point.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Well, that is victorious Rachel Homan, 1-0 here at the 2014 Ford World Women's Curling Championship. We're back as we continue coverage from St. John, New Brunswick, Canada.